Hello everybody, good afternoon and welcome to the United Stands. I'm Mark Goldbridge and this is your Ruben Amorim interview for the Wolves versus Man United game. What an amazing interview this Christmas Eve. Merry Christmas. Amorim has, if you could get the answers in 8 minutes, it reminds me of Rangnick again. Just so many things said by Amorim in this interview. Sit down, get ready to get your comments in. I thought it was a fantastic interview. And I think the one thing I would say about this interview, it just fills me with confidence that we have a manager that is saying, put it on my shoulders. Put it on my shoulders. Whether it's United being 13th, put it on me. Whether it's about what's going on Rashford, put it on me. Whether it's about, can the fans do any more? Absolutely not. We've got to do more. This manager, I like what he's saying. And he even went back to the Everton game and said people were talking about top 4 and Amorim ball. And I said at the time, it wouldn't be. There were storms ahead, and look what happened. I remember saying that when we beat Everton 4-0. Xerxes got 2, Rashford got 2. People were talking about Amorim era. Here we are, outside Old Trafford, talking shit. I said that wouldn't happen. Well, so did Amorim. He should take the credit. But let's get into it. Lots to get on with. A very powerful message to send us into the festive period. He also was asked about playing Boxing Day and before New Year's Eve, which they don't do in Portugal. He said, I don't care. I just want to win. We're in a privileged position. If we can provide a win to our fans over the Christmas period, that would be great. So let's get into it. Lots to talk about. Right, he was asked about Rashford. Let's get the Rashford stuff out the way. The big headline is, he was asked, does Marcus Rashford want to play? He said, he wants to play. It's my decision, my way. There is only my way. I can't change. It's the only way I know. And if I don't be me, then what's the point? So Rashford wants to play. I'm saying no. Now, I like that message. I actually quite like that message because, in a way, it's sort of like, this is not about Rashford. This is about me. I'm the boss. It would make him look weak. I don't think Rashford doesn't want to play. I think it'd be very interesting if he does play. I think there'll be a reaction from match-going fans if he plays. I think they're fed up with him. Certainly some of them are. They've had the banners up. But if Amorim says Rashford doesn't want to play, gives the power to Rashford. This is a power game. We spoke about this last night. This is about power. Rashford did an interview last Tuesday, a week ago, without the club's knowledge, saying he wanted to leave. That was a power play. I've not told you I'm taking control of this situation. You dropped me for the Manchester derby. That was you taking the power. 2 days later, I do an interview saying I want to leave. That's me taking the power. This is a power play. Amorim asked today, does Rashford want to play? He wants to play. I'm saying no. I'm taking the power. And all that we're seeing here is a power play all the time. So Amorim saying Rashford wants to play and it's on me, that's basically saying I'm in charge. He's not in charge. I'm in charge. I'm making the decision. It's my way, not his way. Power play. He was also asked about whether he'd spoken with Rashford about the interview. He said, when the right moment comes along, we will. I will change my stance on it, but I do what's best for the team. I pick the team. I speak to Rashford every day. I speak to other players every day about their performance, but I haven't spoken to him about the interview yet. So I would say we were probably right in assessing this by saying that obviously Amorim's not happy about the interview. He said that last week, but he's not spoken to Rashford about it because what he's probably doing is saying, just do what you're paid to do. Play football, train, play football. I will pick you or I won't pick you. We'll talk about the interview at some point, but I'm too busy at the moment. He was also asked about is all the Rashford thing a distraction? He said, not for me, not for the players. They know my message. The message is very, very clear from me, and the players know that. So there's no distractions about anything else. I'm making my decisions. I'm sending my message to the team. They know those messages. They know that what they need to focus on. It's not a distraction for me. It might be a distraction from the media, for the media. Clearly it is, because they asked 4 questions about Rashford today. And it might be a distraction for some other people, probably the fans. But for me, it isn't. It's me making decisions. He was asked what he wants from people like Marcus Rashford. And he said, like any player, I want the best. I want the best they can be. Big talent, big responsibility. Especially those players who've been here a long time. They need to face this situation and be strong. We're in a difficult stage at the moment, and you've got big talents with big responsibilities who've been here for a very long time, and they should be facing up to this challenge and fighting with us against this challenge. And I think, you know what, my assessment of that, and I might be wrong, tell me if I'm wrong, tell me if I'm right. I think Amorim might be a little bit too clever for some of our players to figure this out. So I'll spell it out for you, because Rangnick was very good at this well. When Ruben Amorim is asked a question what he wants from Marcus Rashford, and he says, it's not just Marcus Rashford, it's all my players. I want the best they can be. And if you've got a big talent, there's a big responsibility. And if you've been here a long time, we're in a difficult time, and you should be facing up to that challenge and being strong. I basically think he's calling Rashford a coward. Because what he's saying is, the football club is 13th. It's on its arse. It's in trouble. There are young players playing every week. There are new signings playing every week. We've got players who've been here for a long time who are on big wages, and they're not facing the challenge. They're doing interviews, or they're not performing well in training. And I think he's calling those players out. And I don't think it's just Rashford either. Casemiro's on 350k a week. Big talent, big responsibility, not getting any minutes. And I think he is publicly calling those players out subtly, going, if you're on a big wage, you're a big talent. You should be facing this challenge, and you should be doing the best you can do. And if you're not playing, you're not doing it. This club is in trouble, and you're not fighting for it. I think it's a very strong message. He also spoke about rotation. I thought this was my favourite bit of the press conference, actually, because it wasn't to do with Rashford. He said, he was asked about rotation. And basically, obviously, he's rotated quite a lot. And the question was, and the next question's really good as well, actually, from Simon Stone. I think this was from Charlotte Dunker, so we'll shout her out as well, because it was a good question. She said, rotation. Can you afford to rotate when Man United aren't doing very well? And he said, I'm not rotating anymore to understand about my players. Obviously, he was doing that in the first couple of weeks. I wanted to give everybody a chance. He said, my rotation, I want to make it very clear, my rotation is not because I want to give everybody game time anymore. I'm rotating to stop injuries. We can't afford injuries. So I'm rotating to stop injuries. Maguire can't play 90 minutes. He certainly can't play 2 games in a row. De Ligt is ill. Mainu is only just coming back. We must manage his minutes. Rasmus couldn't start against Bournemouth because he'd started the last 2 games and we needed to freshen it up. I'm trying to win with what I have and build a long-term project. And that's very difficult because you don't always get time in football. But I have a clear idea of what I want to do, but injuries are a massive problem if I pick them up. So I'm rotating to prevent injury whilst trying to win a game and build a long-term project. And again, there is a subtle dig here at the board to say, this squad ain't good enough for me to rotate. I'm being told I can't play this player, and this player, and I'm needing to freshen things up. But when I do that, I'm bringing in players that aren't good enough. And we know this, you know this, I know this. He has to rotate because he's got a terrified fitness department who have been absolutely pummeled for the last 2 years. And they are now saying, if you play this player, he might get injured to cover their own back. And then you've got a manager who's like, well, I can't pick my best team because I'm being told they might get injured. So I'm having to rotate and try to win. Basically, Amorim is saying, I'm trying to win games with 2 arms tied behind my back. I haven't got the squad, I haven't got the quality, and I can't pick my best team every week because otherwise they'll get injured. So, look, this is not rocket science. This is, speak the truth and set us free. The squad's not good enough. It's massively injury prone. He can't pick his best team. Simple as that. He was also asked about, this was a good question from Simon Stone, we're 13th in the league. Why? Why are Manchester United 13th in the league? And he said, look, it's a difficult question to answer. This cannot be a normal situation for Manchester United. And since I'm here, since Ipswich, it's on me. I have to take responsibility for the results since Ipswich, where we've lost games like Bournemouth and Arsenal, and we drew to Ipswich. We took 1 point from 9 in those games. So I've got to take responsibility for that. But we must improve. And if I knew the answer how to solve all Man United's problems, then I would do it. But what I do know is what I want to do. I'm very clear on what I want to do. And I know what I'm going to do. And that's why I was brought to this football club. So all I can say is we must improve. We're working hard to improve. And I know what I need to do to make Manchester United not be where they are and where we all want to be. That throws it back again to where it needs to go back to, is just, are they going to give him this support? We spoke about this on the morning show. Will they give him the players he needs to make Manchester United great again? And it starts in January, very, very simply. Constantine says, Kuna is cooking. I just hope he isn't cooking on Thursday. Our defence was in a shamble last game. It was terrible, says Constantine. I really hope De Ligt's back. Really hope De Ligt's back. We've missed him so badly the last 2 games. I mean, well, look, 7 goals conceded in 2 games. If his name was not De Ligt and it was Jimmy Delight and he was born in Rochdale, the British media would not shut up about the fact that Man United have conceded 7 goals without their English centre-back. But because he's Dutch, they don't talk about it. 7 goals we've conceded without De Ligt. I don't think it's a coincidence. Goldio says, if Rashford goes somewhere else and does well, they'll blame Amorim. Difference is Marcus will try when he leaves. The clueless media will have a field day. Well, look, Amorim was asked, Goldio, about the fans, and basically, can the fans do any more? Welcome to Members Club Talk. Thank you very much. He was asked whether the fans can do any more, and this was a brilliant answer. He said, nothing more. I understand the frustration, and we will try and we will improve. It's going to take time. I always said it was going to take time. I said it after Everton. People were talking about top 4, and I said, no, there's a storm ahead, but the support has been incredible. They need our help, not the other way round. So Amorim, I mean, this guy is not going to lose the fan base if Rashford goes and performs somewhere else. It's not going to happen because he understands the fans and he speaks to the fans and he prioritises a relationship with the fans through honesty and conversation. And there are managers like Ollie and Ten Hag who have said before about the fans, we need their support, they can help us. Amorim's not falling into that shit trap. It's not the fucking fans' fault that we're 13th in the league. It's not the fans' fault that they can't cheer and shout when playing shit at home to Bournemouth. And Amorim knows that. Amorim knows that fans are noisy and supportive if you give them a reason to be. They can't be noisy and supportive when they're playing shit and they've not got a reason for it. He's saying the fans have been incredible and there's nothing more they can do. It's down to him and the players to give the fans support because the fans can't do any more. And I think he's absolutely spot on. Merry Christmas, have a pint on me, says Mally. You're very generous, mate. Thank you very much for that. I really appreciate that when people do that. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Obviously, Wolves have got a new manager. We've got the preview coming up for you later on. Pereira is their coach, Portuguese, and Amorim was asked about him. He said, look, he's a good coach. He was a very good coach at Porto. Obviously, they went to Saudi. He'll understand our situation, and he'll understand it's hard for us at the moment, and he'll be looking to take advantage of that. I'll talk more about Wolves in the preview later on this evening, if you want to watch that, or catch it over Christmas Day. Don't feel you have to. I know it's Christmas, but I watched the Wolves-Leicester game on Sunday night, highlights, and every single one of those goals was stoppable. So I don't look at Wolves beating Leicester and think, oh shit. I look at Wolves beating Leicester and our defence, and I think if we want to continue making mistakes, then we'll struggle against Wolves. We need to defend well, definitely. What else did he talk about? Spoke about the fans, spoke about rotation. I'll change. Okay, we've done that one. Done about that. Rashford distraction. Rashford to play. He wants it. It's my decision. Okay. I think we've covered nearly everything there. Let me go to the chat then. Wolves have been lucky, says DK, this season. They have some decent players, but awful defensively. We need to beat them. I mean, look, we needed to beat Bournemouth. I think the one thing I would say, can you show us your jumper, Mark? Yeah, I mean, you can't get this now because you won't get it in time for Christmas, but I've always liked this one. It's a bit of an old design. I'll be wearing it for my afternoon festivities. Treble winners and then baubles of all the players. Love it. Merry Christmas, everybody. I think that what we're talking about here is Phyllis says Rashford won't perform elsewhere. He hasn't got it in him. Too average, too lazy. I think he needs a fresh start. I mean, that's basically going to be my line. I think he needs a fresh start. Roy says, Merry Christmas, Mark. Thanks for entertaining us all the year. Watching United stand has been more entertaining than the team this year. All the best for 2024. I watched this morning our best bits of the year, which will go out tomorrow as a little Christmas present from us. We do it every morning at 9 o'clock. It will go out, the best bits of the year. Look. It's probably the worst one in relation to the year, but there are some cracking moments in it. So check that out tomorrow morning. Please do keep subscribing, by the way. We're moving towards 2 million, and we're only 8 subscribers away from 997,500. So we're nearly at 2,500 away. Keep your comments coming in, though. So, yeah, if you're tuning in a little bit late, very, very good interview from Amorim was what I was going to say. I just think on every single level, he owns it. And I know some people will say, oh, remove your head from his arse. But we've been wanting this for so long. To not praise it would be ridiculous. I think some people want to moan because they're moaners. I think some people want to see the world burn. I've been very negative about Man United over the years because we've been very, very bad. But I won't be negative just because I want to be negative. I want to be positive. And I feel that we've got a manager in Manchester, in Ruben Amorim, who very much like Rangnick, despite results, is talking openly about why we're here. We weren't shit under Rangnick because of Rangnick. We were shit under Rangnick because he inherited a shit team from Solskjaer that had down tools and didn't want to pick them up. We're not 13th in the league because of Amorim. We're 13th in the league because for some reason, this squad that he's inherited are not, well, it's not his. But also they're not performing to the level. I can't repeat it enough. I watch Mo Salah quite a lot because Liverpool are on the telly a lot. And I watch Mo Salah against Spurs. And I'm watching it and I'm going, this guy's incredible. He's absolutely incredible. And I think I'm right in saying, I'm just trying to understand this. What is Salah's on about rumoured to be about 300k, 350k a week, Salah. So let's say he's on 325 a week. And there are plenty of players at Liverpool who are better than our team, by the way. I mean, Luis Diaz is better than any winger we've got. So, but let's talk about Mo Salah. Mo Salah's on 350k a week, yeah? Watch him. Incredible player. We've got Rashford on that wage, we've got Casemiro on that wage, and we've got Bruno on that wage. Merge them all together and they're not doing what Salah's doing. So we're paying more than £1 million. We're paying £1 million a week for 3 players that are meant to be doing what Mo Salah's doing, and they're not even doing what Harvey Barnes is doing. I mean, it's incredible. £52 million a year on Bruno, Rashford and Casemiro. Now, they're all different stories. I'd sell 2 of them. I'd keep Bruno. But what I'm saying is, does Bruno do what Salah does? No, but we pay him nearly the same. Does Casemiro do what Salah does? Does he fuck? And does Rashford do what Salah does? No. We've got 3 players on close to what Salah gets a week. And we're not getting anything. No, nothing like it. I mean, it's disgraceful. If I'm Sir Jim Radcliffe, I'm banging on the door every day saying I'm paying £52 million a year in wages for 3 players that wouldn't even start for Liverpool. And yet we're paying them the Mo Salah wage. What the fuck are we doing? And that's what Amorim's talking about when he says, I expect big, what was it he said? I expect big talent, big responsibility to face up to the challenge. We're getting mugged off by cowards. They're not standing up to the challenge. Absolute cowards. It's incredible. Incredible what we're paying. I don't think a lot of people in our fan base actually realise we're paying Mo Salah wages to 3 players in our squad and we're getting Harvey Barnes back. We're not even getting that with 2 of them. That's a piss take. I'd take a Harvey Barnes performance from Rashford and Casemiro. We're not even getting that. So don't feel guilty about saying, I want to get rid of this player, I want to get rid of that player. Fucking look at the wages. We're paying, I bet Luis Diaz doesn't get what Mason Mount gets paid a week. Not in every fucking fit. Andy Robertson won't be on what Luke Shaw's on. I mean, we're just paying stupid money to players. I dread to think when you add up the players that don't contribute anything. I mean, look, Mason Mount, 250. Luke Shaw's about 200. Eriksen's 150. Lindelof, 120. Casemiro, 350. Rashford, 325. I mean, there's more. There's more. I mean, we must be approaching 1.5 to 2 million pounds a week in wages on players that are just not doing anything. That quickly adds up to about 75 to 100 million pounds a year on players that don't offer anything. It's incredible, absolutely incredible. Welcome to Members Club, Michael Shand. Rumour is Rashford will be in a Chelsea kit by January, says Caitlin. Good. I think it'd be a good move for him. I'd be very, very happy with it. Very, very happy with that all round. But yeah, going back to Amorim, I think that interview to me just covers everything. Responsibility, power. I'm the man. I'm the man dropping these players. It's on me. I'm responsible for losing games. I'm rotating because if I'm being told if I don't, I'm going to get injuries. The message is very clear. I'm the guy. I'll make the big decisions. I will do what hasn't been done over the last decade. But we are where we are because of things beyond me. I'm working with players I don't want to work with. I need players I've not been given yet. And I haven't got the squad to compete on this level because I'm having to rotate because I'm being told about injuries. I mean, look, we've not even spoken about it. It's a valid point. There's no point because it's the reality of football. But Bournemouth played on Monday night and then played on Sunday afternoon. We played on Thursday night and then played on Sunday afternoon. You know, at this level, at this time of the season, how are you supposed to even do that? Rashford to Chelsea, only if it takes Mudryk in return, says Rub. Yeah, we don't want Mudryk. Roy says Merry Christmas. Thank you very much for that, Roy. I think we've done that as well. We need York and Cole-esque partnership from Xerxes and Rasmus, says Dave. And don't let him play unless he's proven it, says Yap. Jokeres would never come to United, says Omniversal. Of course he bloody would. He loves Amorim. Why would he not? Man United's the biggest club in England. Why would he not come? Of course he would. It's just whether United want it or whether we can get the money. It's as simple as that. Would you take Nkunku, says Bello? No, I think the injury problems there concern me. Do you think that some of the pundits want Man United to fail because they support another club? Keep up the great work, Mark. Love the show and a very happy Christmas, says Robin. I was in Centre Parks in Sherwood Forest on over the weekend. That's why I didn't do the watch along. And I can't tell you the amount of people say this to me when I speak to them about football. I can't comment on this. I can't comment on this because I don't listen to it. Because when I watch Man United, I watch it with you. I don't have the audio on. But this United fan came up to me in the sports bar and he said, we're having a bit of a chat about United and Amorim. And he said, just out of the blue, he said, what's Gary Neville's problem? And I thought he was going to say about me. And so I'm ready. And he goes, I said, what do you mean? He goes, every time I listen to his commentary, he's so negative about Man United. He's always so negative. Do you think he even supports Man United? And I said, well, he does support Man United, doesn't he? I think he does support Man United. But look, I don't know what's going on in the media. All I can tell you is that I saw it when I was growing up on Match of the Day. You'd have Mark Lawrenson and Alan Hansen, who were ex-Liverpool. And all they ever did was moan about Liverpool. And you almost thought, do they want them to be successful or do they want them to fail? So they're the successful, the players. And maybe that's the explanation. I don't know. Maybe these ex-players don't want the team to be successful because then it will, ruin their legacy. I mean, I do the podcast with Will and he was joking on the Christmas quiz we did yesterday about, the biggest growth in sport this year has been podcasts talking about the Sir Alex days, when Fergie was in charge. So maybe that's what it's all about. Is there any update on Alphonso Davies, says Dave? I think he will go to Real Madrid or sign a new contract at Bayern, really. Nemos says, what about Robinson from Fulham in January? Be a lot of money. I mean, he would be revolutionary. I think that's a brilliant question. But Yeah, that would be fantastic. But I don't see it. I don't see us doing it. Joey, mate, Joey, it's a really interesting super chat. But the last time I responded to anything to do with that, it made their day. It just proves the point, Joey. I don't talk about these people, but they do videos about me. What's the real win? These people don't impact my life. I don't mention them. I don't talk about them. I have a great community. We do our thing. We interact. I don't need to talk about these content creators because they're talking about me all the time. I never talk about them. There's never a section where I go, let's talk about this fan. Let's talk about that fan. I don't do it. And yet they're always talking about me. So who's the real winner? Haven't hung up socks in a while, not since my children grew up. So I hope you are hanging up your stockings on the wall, Linda. Not just Linda, by the way. That sounds a bit sexual. I mean, everybody. Preview will be coming out a little bit later, Cedric. I mean, it's Christmas Eve, so I might put it out at 7 o'clock, but the preview will be coming out a little bit later. Tommy's laughing that your transfer budget in January is 30 million. Tommy doesn't understand FFP. If we've got 30 million to spend in January, Tommy, I'm very, very happy because we could buy 2 50 million pound players with that. Oh, how does 30 million work out to 100? Yes, you thick twat. All we need to do is buy 2 50 million pound players over 5-year contracts where we're paying them 10 million pounds a year. In fact, we could get 3. 30 million's not what we'd be spending. It would be what you'd be spending on year 1 on the contract. You could buy a 50 million pound player on a 5-year deal and give that club 10 million pounds every year for the next 5. It's exactly what we did with Euro. So if we've got 30 million pounds, we'd be quite happy because we could get a couple of good players with that. People don't understand how transfers work anymore. You can go and pay it all up front, but that's not really the way the industry works these days. Yeah, I would love Anthony Robinson, by the way. I think he'd be a fantastic player. Arch285 says, if we sell Casemiro, we save on wages. Does that count in FFP? The problem, Arch, with Casemiro is, correct me if I'm wrong, he's been here 2.5 years. I think his contract is 4 years. So we paid 60 million. So every year that we keep him, 15 million comes off the amortization. So we've probably had about 40 million come off. So we need to get 20 million from him. We need to get 20 million pounds for him now to break even on FFP. I don't know if anyone's going to do that. And that's basically how it works. Can you wish my dad, Darren, a happy Christmas, please? I bought him your new book and we're big fans of your channel. Thank you, says Kieran. Well, happy birthday to you, Kieran. And happy birthday to Darren. And well done if you got a book for Christmas. Right, I'm going to leave you there because I've got to go and make my traditional Christmas Eve lunch, which is, I think I actually did a video on it a couple of years ago. So I'll be making that now. Traditional Christmas Eve dinner for me is chocolate chili. It's lovely. It's got chorizo sausage in it. It's got beef, and you put a bit of dark chocolate in to melt it. Very, very nice. Take care, everybody. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. We've got lots of content coming up for you. We should also have this Christmas ramble going up at some point tomorrow as well. Take care. Speak to you soon. And if you want to be positive about anything, be positive about our manager, because I thought it was a fantastic interview today. Sin says, for years we've been saying that our recruitment is atrocious. The players we signed were good till they joined us and down tools. Maybe it's always been Players FC since Moyes, Chips, ban. There we go. Thank you, everyone. Make sure you subscribe. Take care. Merry Christmas, and I'll speak to you in a bit.